And oh my gosh, and you know what?
What?
We're back.
We're back.
Our what if happened.
It
because
did.
here we are again. Live from the Arizona Center, Marshall Shore. Well, we're live, but
You're not live. We're alive. We're
Right.
live human beings.
Exactly.
I am the live human being known as Melissa Farley.
And Marshall Shore.
Yeah.
And this is the morning show. And so welcome to day number 2.
Day number 2. We're still working out bugs. What you didn't see is for like 20 minutes, Marshall was trying to move a poster to block light coming in, and we're having all sorts of fun figuring out this new
It's
set.
like, what are we doing? And it's like,
We don't
hey,
know.
you know, but that's
We
the
don't know
fun.
what we're
That's the
doing.
fun. It's like, what if? And it's like, you know,
That was my, so you know, I watch the Munsters, like that's my go-to show that I love. And there's this part where Herman's like in Grandpa's laboratory and he's just like laughing and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure having fun doing it. That's how I feel about our shows.
and you know, and Grandpa Munster used to have a restaurant in New York City.
Al Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, so Uncle Al, you'd go in and
How
he was always
fun.
sitting at a little table.
That's cool.
So,
I love
yeah.
that. Well, welcome to the morning show, day 2 from the Arizona Center.
Exactly. I mean, we're so happy to be here at the Arizona Center.
Yeah. So we have some guests that we're going to bring on here very shortly, but I did want to just take a second to talk about something. So my husband just got diagnosed with ADHD, which is a good thing. That's something we've been, trying to figure out for him and kind of, we were always sort of suspicious about it. And something interesting happened. These are actually clients of mine. They wrote a book, and it's called Unapologetically ADHD.
I remember you talking about this
Yeah,
book.
yeah, it's out now. And, so I got a copy, and I just kind of kept, like, leaving it, like, at his desk or, on his side of the bed. And I was like, I don't know, maybe he'll check it out. And he comes out of his office one day, and he's like, I feel like this book was written for me. Like, this is how my mind works. Like, this is, somebody actually gets, the way that I function. And so that prompted then a conversation with his doctor. He finally got a diagnosis. They started him on medication this week. And so this has been a really kind of exciting time because I think a lot of people with ADHD feel like, they're not good at certain things, or they're challenged with like organizing and planning and that kind of thing. And really your brain just works different. And this is a really cool book because it helps you work with your ADHD. And it's written by an ADHD coach. And then Pete, who has ADHD, kind of shares like really true kind of heartfelt stories about what his experience with ADHD has been like. And so it's kind of a cool thing. So I'm not pushing it, but I am saying, if you're looking for a gift to give somebody that has ADHD for Christmas or the holidays or whatever, like this is kind of a cool thing. It helped us a lot. So
Nice, very cool.
Yeah. So anybody out there with ADHD, we love you. They actually have a really cool podcast called Unapologetically. Nope, that's their book, Unapologetically ADHD. It's Taking Control, the ADHD podcast. Yeah, so you can check them out. If you like them, like on the podcast, you'll like the book. So that's kind of, But speaking of taking care of yourself, which is what my husband did, and I'm so proud of him for doing that, we are going to have a guest on who is actually doing something really, really cool. I was able to visit the place where he works, and I can't wait for him to tell you about it. It's called ReVibeU, and we're going to be chatting with Bryan, and they do like float salt therapy. Like, it's really cool.
Oh, like an isolation tank?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we're going to take just the quickest of breaks and be right back to introduce you to Bryan.
And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We are coming at you from the Arizona Center. And we are joined right now by Bryan Perez of ReVibeU. And Bryan, I actually went to your place. I was taking a yoga class, and then I came out and you were like, you gotta see the float spas. And there was this woman there. I don't know if you remember this, but she talked to me for like 20 minutes about how this changed her entire life. And I was like, whoa, this is serious.
Yeah.
So, okay, so sorry, I got excited. Tell
okay.
us about who you are and about what ReVibeU is.
Yeah,
I know. Let the man speak.
Sorry.
No, that's a common story, though. A lot of our customers come in, and it can be life-changing. So it's a beautiful thing, and that's really how I got started in the business. It changed my life personally. I'm an engineer by trade. 23 years as an engineer, and I had a typical kind of breakdown struggle in life where things just weren't going well. And I ended up going to the prior owner's existing spa there, and I did a float, and it was life-changing for me. It really brought a lot of perspective, and it changed my life to the point where I decided to buy the business. I wanted to.
That's
it impacted
a big
me.
life change.
It did.
Yeah.
It impacted
Yeah.
me so much that I wanted to share it with other people and really help out. And that's become my passion, my heart. Is to help out the community and really.
So I'm putting on my hat of like just the skeptic or maybe the noob,
Okay.
right? And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, so you float. Like, how is that life changing? Like, tell us about the experience and what actually is happening when you do this.
So the technical aspect of it is sensory deprivation, right? So we live in a world that's so busy. We're always processing a lot of information, whether it's through TV, phones, what we're listening to. We're on an information overload, so to speak, right? So what we do with sensory deprivation is we allow your mind to settle, right? We clear out all the noise. We have the ability to take away all 5 senses in our tanks. So that means there's really no other place that you can do that because you're always dealing with gravity, right? You always have the feeling of touch. So when you get to that state and you take away all those senses, your mind actually goes from a beta state into a different frequency. So you're changing the frequency of your mind, which drops you into an alpha, theta, or even a delta state, which is meditative states. And when you get in those states, not only do you get mental healing, but it's physical healing as well. So it's very good for the body. It's really true natural health and wellness from the inside out, really allowing your body to do what it does best, and that's heal.
Have you done one of these, Marshall?
I did it in my 20s, which was
Okay.
quite a while ago.
Okay.
And it was at a point where there wasn't so much overwhelmingness. I mean, now you're so engaged. So I can really see when you're talking about just that opportunity to just like, your phone is far away,
Disconnect.
everything, and disconnect.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going in like, well, do you want music playing or not? And I'm like, well, of course not.
Right.
The whole idea is that deprivation of shutting off everything.
Correct.
But you had other things there.
We do, yeah, we do, and we do offer music as well, because not everybody's going to be comfortable in the environment being dark and being isolated with no sound. That can create a sense of anxiety for some. So what we do is we cater to that because we want everybody to be able to reach that, to basically find themselves, to be you. That's really what we're looking for. So we offer a meditation music, so if that helps them to relax, because we don't want to create an anxiety
right.
inside the thing.
Exactly.
We're trying to do the opposite, right? We're trying to take that down. So. But it's an amazing experience. It's something that I feel like every person should try at least once.
See,
actually, they should try it. Just try it 2 or 3 times, because your first time you're a little bit, okay, what's going on here? You're in this space that's really a little weird. So sometimes it can be a little hard to settle in, but by the second, third time, that's when the magic happens.
Just the ability of you go into water and you do nothing, but you float.
You float.
That was the
How long
amazing
were you
thing.
in there?
Typically an hour.
Okay.
Our sessions are an hour. We have customers that will float 3 hours. I floated 6 hours is my longest float. And it really just depends on what you're at, where you're at, and what you're going through.
So is this one of those things, I'm gonna just be very direct. Do I have to be like a millionaire Scottsdale person to be able to afford this float therapy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that was the big goal for me, really, coming into the business, was I want this to be for everybody. So, my heart is to share this with the community. It's not really a personal thing for me to make money, and it's really to help the community.
Yeah.
Now I gotta survive, and I have to run a business. That's normal, right? But it really is to make it affordable. So we have very affordable packages. I mean, we start at like $45 for an hour
really?
session. Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's outstanding. Our memberships are the same way. We work that with a $45 membership. As you progress, the more you need it, you can buy those additionals at the same price. And then once you've floated 4 times in a month, we give unlimited. So you're able to float as much as you need. And really that's to cater to people that sometimes we have a good month and we may not need as much self-care, right?
Yeah.
But then we have a bad time, we have a bad week, we have stuff going on in our life, and we really need to work through that or process it or deal with it. And then maybe you need to float more and you need to come in more often. So we really cater to customizing to the customer, to what they need, because that's our heart, is to help the community.
So Do you have to schedule away in advance, or can you do walk-ins?
No, so we have 8 float tanks, so we are the second largest float center in the nation.
Whoa!
So which is great.
Wow,
So,
I didn't realize. Wow, that's a lot of tanks.
yeah, so it is. So that's great. It's a big opportunity, right? We have more opportunity to help, and it does create flexibility in scheduling. So most of the time, people can come in and just even a walk-in, right, and still get their floats. We've had people come in just walking by, see our sign, and be like, "Hey, well, open the door. What do you guys do?" And next thing, they're in a tank, and they come out, and they're amazed and wowed. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I remember it's like doing it and just kind of feeling so at peace because the water is body temperature.
Correct.
So you start even losing like where you start, where you end, and so you just kind of zone out completely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in this total darkness. Yeah. I mean, it was just such an interesting experience and so relaxing.
Well, that's what the woman that was talking about when we were at his spa. She had PTSD and was talking about that feeling of kind of like it's the first time where she was able to sort of fully let go and kind of,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really fascinating.
Yeah, that experience that you described is basically your brain changing states. It's changing frequencies, right? So that's when you're transitioning out of that beta state. Our beta state's processing a lot of stuff very quickly because we're a high processing computer up here and got a lot of information coming in. And as you transition into that point, you do tend to lose your body, and your consciousness is there, and that's getting into like the theta state, which is the target state for a lot of people that are meditating. That's the state where your body starts to heal from the inside. So it's not just mental, it's physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, and that's the beauty of what we do in our wellness spa, is that it's complete, right? It's everything, and it's not. It's really we're creating the environment for your body to do what your body was made to do, right? It's very capable of healing itself and working through its issues. So it's a beautiful thing.
Well, I'm like I've texted 3 of my friends this week. I'm like I'm this close to having some type of a breakdown this week, and so I'm like I feel like I need a float.
Well, come visit us before that happens. Come visit.
A preventative float.
Float.
So let me ask you. I'll ask you from my marketing perspective now.
Okay.
So it's holidays, right?
Yep.
Can I buy like gift certificates for friends and family to come do a float?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We do gift certificates. We have our holiday special now is like 3 floats for $99.
What?
So outstanding. And the reason we do that again, it's just because the intent is we want this to spread to as many people as possible, to come and try it, to find relief from the busyness, from the stress, from the anxiety. There's a really mental health epidemic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people that are struggling, and they may not be comfortable talking about it, speaking about it. But if they come into our spa, they come into this space, we've created a space where you can really be you can be comfortable. It's a safe space to come in. We've had customers come in that are, very emotional, that are, really struggling with some heavy stuff. And then we're able to provide some relief. And for me, when I see those customers come out of that tank, and I see the glow on their face, and I see the smile, I see, I have to hold back the tears because I know what they've experienced because I've been on that side.
Yeah.
So that's really where my heart is to be able to provide that for people.
And he's not just saying that because he owns it. Like I've been to the space and there's something really special about it. You do feel very safe. You feel very grounded. It's just, it's just a really cool place to spend time in, and I know I just did the yoga class, but I could just tell the entire atmosphere had that energy. So tell people where they can find you and how they can connect with you and go do a float.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're located in Tempe. We're off of Rural and University. So right on the corner next to the Tempe Improv, Trader Joe's, right in that shopping center. You can reach us at ReVibeU.com. And then also we're big on social media, Instagram, TikTok. Those are the 2 main ones, but just ReVibeU. So yeah, that's it. We also do offer a lot of community events. We're getting really big on that because the idea is to bring as many people in as possible. And a lot of people don't know what floating is. They don't know, they don't understand the concept. So we're educating as well. We see ourselves as educators trying to help the community grow and heal and be strong and really promote that natural complete, full wellness, health and wellness. So.
Well, Bryan, if you're up to it, maybe I can grab Ann and we could do an on-site segment and kind of show,
that would be
what the
amazing.
space is like and what the float is like. And
it really is a magical space, and it's not what we've created is just part of it. I think it's the people that come into that space. They bring in the love, they bring in the good vibes, and you feel it when you come in. People. Every day they come in and they tell me this place just has there's something different about it. There's something different when they walk in the door, and that really makes warms my heart, because that's the goal, to create a place where people can be comfortable, where they can really find themselves. And that was the whole vision of ReVibeU, right? It's to be you. That was the kind of hidden message. We want you to find yourself, to clear out all the busyness, all the noise. And really get back to the core of who you are. Simplify life a little bit.
Well, that is in a big part due to you. So thank you so much for creating that space.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Bryan. This has been so cool. We'll definitely go and check out the spa and kind of show you guys around. We think that would be really cool. But think about, seriously, a holiday gift. I would love to get that in my stocking. Hello, a float spa.
And I think especially now that, our phones are always on.
Totally.
And so just kind of detaching from. And just kind of being in a
having
zone.
A reset.
Right, exactly, a reset.
And that's not even talking about the physical benefits. We're just talking about the mental and a little bit of the emotional, but the physical benefits for very active people, athletes, stuff like that, it's huge. Muscle recovery, allowing your cells to recover, to relax, rebuild, bringing down cortisol levels, stress levels, bringing down inflammation. So it's all really good. Also, there's a creative aspect on that we kind of promote for thinkers, right? Business people, corporate world. When you go into that state, right? When you change frequencies, you're in a different portion of your mind. So you're thinking different. Your perspective changes. So you get a lot of creative thoughts, and you think about things a little different than you would normally. So people get great ideas, business ideas, artistic, whatever it is. They're just thinking a little bit different. So they're like, oh, I never thought about that. Oh, I was thinking about this in a tank. So it almost is a think tank, right?
That's
can be
cool.
a think tank as well, right?
Clever.
Very cool.
I like it. There's no downside to this, basically. There's only good, awesome
a little salt
benefits.
in the eyes, and maybe when you first started, figure that out.
True.
That's the worst thing about the worst thing can happen.
Well, I can handle that. I can deal with that. Well, thank you so much, Bryan. We're going to take a quick break and then be back with another really amazing guest for you. We're just keeping it coming. This episode.
Indeed.
But thank you so much, Bryan.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Bryan. And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We are so excited to be here at the Arizona Center doing our show again.
Indeed, number two.
Look
at that.
Yes.
Our second show.
Our second.
From such an amazing location.
It really is. Yeah, if you haven't been to the Arizona Center lately, you should come check it out.
There's all kinds of changes. There's restaurants coming in.
There's a roller skating rink.
There's a roller skating rink, right. It's
They've got
always
a brewery
evolving.
coming in. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool. You know what else is really cool?
I hear we have a guest.
We have a guest. Yeah, we've got Lisa Pozzoni here, and she's talking about something that I don't personally love. I have a hard time with this, but I'm curious.
Is it math?
That's another thing I don't personally love.
Oh, there's two things? Oh, I didn't realize
it's
that.
running. Are you a runner, Marshall?
No.
Only if you're being chased? Is that the
I ran
response?
once for the bus and fell face first in the street. So, no.
Okay, so Lisa, tell us about why you maybe are different from us.
And this is exactly why I do what I do, because running has such a bad reputation, and I have found the way to make people actually enjoy running.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So 20 years ago, I started my business, and I've been into fitness training. I used to work in the corporate world, and I used to go to people's houses and train them and help them lose weight. And then I also thought I would never be a runner, only if a bear is chasing me. That's what people say, right? And I tried it, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And then one of my personal training clients gave me a book called She Running. So it's a book that teaches you how to run.
Okay.
Right? Nobody thinks about learning how to run. nobody, you just figure you put one foot in front of the other.
I
right?
have not thought about how to.
Right?
Yes.
Like you take cooking classes, you take golf lessons, but nobody thinks about taking running lessons.
Right.
And there's actually a way to run that's really easy on your body.
Really?
And yes, it's chi running and chi walking, so both walking and running, but a way that really minimizes the impact, which is 67% of runners on average get injured. And so that's a lot of reason why people don't like it, or you try it and it's really hard because you don't know how to move properly and to make it easier. And so once I discovered that, I completely flipped my business, and now I'm a walking and running coach, and I just love to help people. And I'll say people, but generally women. Most of my business is helping women over 50 find the joy in walking and running. So I'm really trying to help women change this idea of running is hard, it's no fun, and just getting into movement.
Yeah.
Right? So walking and running are just great, cheap way to just move.
So talk about why the over 50 age group. Is that your focus?
That's a great question, because I started running in my mid-30s. And again, I was like, I'm never going to do this. And then I started it and I really enjoyed it. And then as I started dabbling more into it and I started doing some races for fun, I started realizing how much it was just changing my life. So just like everything, you run, you learn how to set goals. There's a lot of things you learn through running. And as I aged, I started being surrounded by women my age. And I'm 53 now. And I've had 60-year-olds do their first ultra marathons, which is over 26 miles.
Oh my gosh.
So that's I just feel like this age group for women especially, we're going through a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
Right? I'm all about the pro-aging movement. It's happening. Let's embrace it and go with it. But women are empty nesting, maybe retiring at this age, and they're trying to find something.
Yeah.
And so running is a great way, and I say walking as well.
Yeah.
And community. Community is a huge thing for me. So it's really connecting these women together, and we go do these fun races together, and then we have a beer when we're done. And
so can I tell you a story?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm not a runner at all, but I've gone through a lot of health issues in my life and continue to still deal with health things. But there was a point where I was like, I just want to do a 5K. Like, I feel like that will make me feel really, really good. I was the very last one to finish. In fact, I was so late that they actually thought, my husband stayed behind with me. I was so late that they had actually started the other race, and they thought we won that next race, and we had to go tell them, like, oh no,
you shouldn't have told them. You should.
Finishing
But you're still a winner because you finished.
Well, I know I did, but I could only run for like 10 minutes, and then I ended up walking like the whole thing. So I really struggle with running, like, big time.
Well, and honestly, I would say to you, that was all okay. Like, honestly, I have been dead last in a race, and I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Because when I'm out on a run, I'm out taking pictures. I do longer runs, but I just enjoy it, and it doesn't matter to me. I am not training my women to run for speed.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's another thing. People think you have to run the whole 5K, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, I say you're writing your own running story.
Yeah.
That's part of my philosophy. So maybe you want to walk in the middle of your runs. And
Yeah.
maybe you don't care if you're going to be last.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of things people don't know about running, and there's so many things that are so enjoyable about it, and I'm just trying to help.
Well, and I think in that sense of community, I mean, I've got friends who are runners, and it's really about finding that tribe. Kind of like, that seems to be a theme that keeps popping up, is finding that tribe. I mean, I've got one friend who has issues with his legs, and so he's not a quick runner, but again, it's that sense of community. Actually, at one point he was working at a running shoe store and all this, and he was really into the community.
Yes.
Aspect of it.
Yeah.
And actually came here for his first marathon because we are so flat that he was like, this is like the flattest one he could find.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think it's funny because, your body obviously is capable of doing these, like, this is a weird comparison, but I've thought about it. Like, I walk 10 miles when I go to Disneyland, but I'm stopping and I'm eating and I'm like doing, but still, like, I've walked 10 miles by the end of the day, and I'm like, so clearly I can do it, you know, but man, it's like when you asked me to run for 20 minutes, I'm like, oh God, I don't think I can.
And a lot of the work I do too is also mindset, right? Because I think when we go into it with the idea of it's going to be hard, I'm not going to like it, I have to run the whole thing, that already puts you in that space of it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Already in that negative headspace, so really trying to get out of that headspace.
So kind of working
and just
through,
kind
yes,
of
exactly. And again, with the aging thing, when people tell me, oh, I'm 50, that my days are over. No, I've had literally women start running at 60, over 60.
That's cool.
That I've trained. So
I mean, you didn't even bring up the endorphins that kick in when you're
right.
running, and
all
so
of that, so much.
Then I have other friends who are just now addicted to that, and so if they don't get in a run,
yes,
it's like they're like,
yeah, mental health, physical health. I mean, I say
Yeah.
spiritual health, emotional health, all of it. Like, it can be such a great way. And ironically, my community of women is called my True Tribe. So True, the running university. So that's where the True comes from, and that they're my tribe. So
I think people underestimate too the health benefits of even just walking. Like when I was recovering from one of my really bad depression episodes, I just made a commitment to myself that I'm going to move my body, and that was just walking was what I could do. And I started just doing some affirmations and kind of trying to do some positive self-talk while I was walking. And I tell you what, that was the most powerful thing for me to do. I didn't know it was going to be, but that really helped me get kind of over this ledge that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get past. And so I think it's huge.
That's a lot of why I do what I do. And I used to say I'm a running coach, and I've added walking as part of it, because there's people who just don't want to run, and I get it. I want to convince everybody, and if somebody says to me, I'm interested, I'm coming in. I'm going to try to convince you. But walking is amazing, and exactly that. Like, you can find ways, and even just 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an hour. I think people feel like, oh, if I can't squeeze in a half hour, an hour, 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Start with that. Just start somewhere.
That's what I've started doing, it because I've been so busy. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, every morning for 15 minutes, I'm just going to walk. And if that's what I can do, that's what I can do. And I notice a difference in my mood. I think it makes a big difference. But
Awesome.
So if people want to work with you, how do they get in touch with you? How do they get to work with you as a running or walking coach?
Thanks for asking. So therunningsuniversity.com is my website, so you can find information there. I have a year-long program that is starting in 2025 that I'm super excited about. You'll find information there. But I'd say I'm on Instagram as True Coach Lisa, TRU Coach Lisa, and YouTube. I have a ton of videos on YouTube, some technique videos, and that's The Running University on YouTube. So find me on those. Email me at lisa@therunningsuniversity.com. I want to help you have your best year yet next year.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And Melinda Herkimer, I'm shouting you out. I know you love walking. Walking has changed your life. You should connect with Lisa. I'm going to make it happen. But thank you so much, Lisa. We will be right back after this break. I know Marshall is just dying to share some history.
I know we've got some history. I haven't shared
you.
any history yet. Oh my gosh.
He's been like a useless lump over here. No, I'm
Chomping at the bit.
He's so excited to share, and we've got things to do, some holiday stuff, so keep it right here.
And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're coming at you from the Arizona Center today.
Indeed, with our fancy new set and a new location. Oh my gosh, we're so happy that you're joining us.
We are. Husband did the wallpaper. Didn't he do such a good job?
He did do a really good job.
We
with
are
that.
no longer allowed to do wallpaper together anymore. I tell people that's the only time we got close to divorce was when we tried to wallpaper my office together. Did not go well. Not at all. But I also want to say I'm really glad that we switched sides.
Well, good ear.
Good ear, but also this is my good side.
Oh, I didn't realize you were like Barbara Streisand, where it's like, oh, only this side, please.
I literally have had multiple people in my life be like, this side of your face is crap. This is your good side. Well, I used to do film, so people are very blunt about things. Yeah. So before I was
my grandma had a saying, it was 2 words, but I won't repeat them because this is a family show. So.
I know.
Indeed. So, let's talk about some history.
Let's do it.
So it's Christmas in Arizona, and, people are watching all those Bacon and Rest Christmas specials. And, one of my favorite Christmas movies that people don't associate with Arizona is Psycho. And so, we've got this image that actually is from Psycho, and you'll see that indeed they're Christmas decorations in 1960.
That's right, I forgot.
And so December 11th for Phoenix is Psycho Day.
Okay.
And so every year they show it down at the Orpheum. And so initially when they filmed that pan across downtown, that opening scene of Psycho, which is in Phoenix, they used a helicopter, but they didn't have all the stabilization. So it was a really jumpy bit. So they had to come back and film it again using various spaces throughout the city to capture that sweep of downtown. And they realized the city had already put up Christmas decorations. So it became a Christmas movie.
That's funny.
So
yeah, I like that.
I love that Psycho is our
Christmas movie.
Our Christmas movie.
Do we have any other holiday movies that, well, they did the new one. They did Noel.
They did Noel here, and so that has shots all over the place.
Yeah, Desert Botanical Garden, for sure. But did you see they use a lot of shots when they're just like walking around the city that it's like absolutely not Phoenix.
Oh, right. Well, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but like when they are doing like the drone work and everything else, that very much is.
No, yeah, that totally was.
Right.
But I was just like, you're shooting here. Why wouldn't you just get shots of them actually
because
in Phoenix?
very likely the stars weren't here.
I know.
They were in LA, and so.
Well, they had to come for Desert Botanical Garden because they were there for that.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
But probably in editing, they may have.
I really want to do yoga how they did at the garden. Like, I don't think that they really do that, but I would love that.
Oh, I don't think. But right now they've got that really cool at DBG, those huge like lantern things.
I know.
I really want to go see that.
I'm going on the 18th to go see that. For the Luminaries. They do the Luminaries every year, but then that exhibit
Oh, wow.
will be
That'd be really cool,
active.
seeing the Luminaries and that. So it's all about the light.
And I thought it was funny that you brought up the Orpheum screening Psycho, because my very first event for Things to Do is actually at the Orpheum Theater. They're doing the Muppet Christmas Carol. And I was slightly disappointed because I honestly thought it was the show. Like, I thought like actual Muppets.
Oh, you were not the only one. Someone else said, it says live. And so I think they've changed that since then, because it's not.
It's not. It's the movie.
Right.
Which I do adore the movie, but I was so ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, it's the actual Muppet show.
But when we were talking to the folks at the Orpheum about that, and I was like, well, there are 2 Sesame Street puppet wranglers who live here in
That's
town.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like,
they could do it.
They could.
They could do it.
But it wouldn't be Muppets. It would be Sesame Street characters if they could get them offset. But
yeah. But this is happening December 17th, which is actually today, and it's going to be from 6:30 p.m. Well, however long the movie goes, and tickets are not that expensive for these movies.
No, and so what I love, and so it's being put on for the Friends of the Orpheum, and so that is kind of the community engagement piece, and so it's basically raising funds to help the Orpheum do things.
Yeah.
And so they have a whole host of things. I mean, they literally just replaced all the seats with these really super comfortable seats that you don't sink into anymore. They have a new sound system. I mean, we saw recently Nightmare Before Christmas there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it really, if you haven't been in a while, it's really worth going because those new seats are so comfortable now.
It's such a beautiful theater.
It's a beautiful.
I was on Broadway. Well, I wasn't on Broadway. I was seeing shows on Broadway. And I kept thinking about, like, Orpheum is really the only theater here, that feels like that experience. And it's
January 10th, it's celebrating its 96th anniversary.
Oh, I know. I know somebody who's in it.
So, indeed. So, yeah. So, I don't know. So, I'll just throw a quick plug out for Arizona Unzipped, which is an educational burlesque show where I will be sharing stories about Arizona history, and then my friend Pyra Sutra and her team of musicians and dancers will be doing numbers inspired by those. It's going to be so much fun.
And I'll be there drinking champagne and getting drunk and cheering Marshall on.
Woohoo!
So,
there you go.
All in all, a really good time.
It will be a very fun night as we bring in 96 years of Orpheum Theater.
Yeah.
That is January 10th.
Yeah. So put that on your calendars now. I know it seems far away, but
right,
and
we'll be talking about that
quickly.
on future episodes. In fact, we might be able to. I probably can get even Pyra here.
That would be fun.
So
I love Pyra Sutra. I'm like, she is divine. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I just spent last week. I just spent like a day with her. It was so much fun.
But seriously, I want to learn how to like have control over my body the way that she does.
I think she does classes.
She does do classes, but after your show last year, I reached out to her and they said, that they were taking a break or something. I don't remember, so I didn't get to do it. But
because she was moving.
oh, maybe that's what it was.
So yeah,
Okay.
so.
But yeah, I would totally do that. So if anyone wants to take classes with me, that would be fun. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, maybe it's like, wonder how tall these ceilings are. Can we bring the pole in?
It's tiny ceilings. I don't know.
I was like,
Does she have a mini one? Another fun thing going on though that is cool. It's the Fever candlelight concerts. I don't know if you've done one of these yet.
I know you keep doing them.
Well, I only did one at the
Okay.
Phoenix Zoo. We did that for Valentine's Day. So it was just kind of different, and we thought it would be nice.
Also Statehood Day.
Yeah, also Statehood Day. This one is not for Valentine's Day. It's December 17th tonight as well. And it's at the Crescent Ballroom. So that's kind of a cool, that would be a cool venue, I think, to do a candlelight concert. Doors open at 8:30 and then the concert's at 9. So yeah, it's just, if you've never done one, you know, they really talented musicians. It's usually a themed music night and beautiful candles. They don't let you take photos, at least at the one I was at, like through the whole concert, but the last song, they tell you during the last song you can take pictures.
And that makes sense, because I mean, all those phones would
Yeah,
kind of throw off
yeah,
the ambiance and everything else. But you know, by being at Crescent, it's like, I love the restaurant and the kind of that lobby area.
Yes.
I mean, great burritos, great drinks, so you can go have dinner, go see a show.
Yeah.
Make a whole night of it.
Totally. Yeah. It's a fun date night. It really is.
Yeah.
This one I'm going to read because I'm so excited about it, and it's you'll figure out why, because I'm such a book nerd. Book fair for grown-ups at Genuine Bar. Need a moment in the midst of holiday craziness? Join us at Genuine for a nostalgic book fair for grown-ups. They're leaning into all of the vibes. It's an Icelandic tradition of exchanging books and then reading with hot cocoa on Christmas Eve. They actually have the word, and I cannot say it, Jólabókaflóð. Jólabókaflóð.
Sounds like you're at IKEA.
I don't know. It is an Icelandic tradition. They do that. They exchange books, and then you sit down quietly with cocoa and read your books on Christmas Eve. And it's gonna have kind of the feel of like those old school elementary scholastic book fairs, which I loved as a kid.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm super.
I mean, all those paperbacks and everything else. I mean,
I know. So that is also on the 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's free. It's free to come participate. Obviously, you have to buy the books, but you don't have to like pay a cover.
Okay. So speaking of free,
What?
So you know how we were talking about like Psycho Day?
Yes.
So it got me thinking about, okay, so you have Psycho Day. What other holiday traditions are kind of on the dark side?
What?
And so there actually are several incidents, I will say, around downtown. And so for viewers, if you go to hiphistorian.com on December 28th, which is a Saturday, we are doing a tour, and if you log on and sign up, it's free.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you doing, like Winnie with Judd? And
So no, because it doesn't happen during Christmas. So
these specifically happen
so
during
really
Christmas.
focusing on
Okay.
Christmas themed
Oh, cool.
things, because it's like the first governor of Arizona passed away on December 24th.
Okay.
And so he's buried out in Papago Park in a big pyramid. So we talk a little bit
Yep.
about him
Yep.
and some other things around downtown that just happened to happen during that holiday season.
Oh, fun. Well, that's a cool
So-
thing to do. You probably still have family in town visiting from the holidays.
What a great way, because it's a
Yeah.
mix of kind of downtown history mixed with holiday history. And
Arizona has such great weather, you can do something like that a couple days after Christmas.
well, I literally just spent the other day with a bunch of folks from Minnesota, and they were so
Minnesota.
excited to be here wearing light jackets, which
Totally.
they felt was even a bit much.
I've never had to do, I think when I traveled to Vail, Colorado, Chicago, and now New York, like the heavy coat thing. I don't know how people do it. Like, because you go from being freezing and like your face is numb to like going inside somewhere and sweating in like 2.5 seconds. I just don't understand how people live.
Well, that's
like
why some places
that.
have coat checks. Here, you don't have many places that have coat checks.
God, yeah.
And so,
But you know what I did do? this is a short people trick. I didn't check my coat at the theaters. I sat on it. So because I'm so short, you
got a booster seat.
Yeah, because it was so thick. So I just folded it and I sat on my jacket.
So you got a little boop.
Yeah, a little boop.
A little bump. Nice.
I was proud of myself. Yeah. Speaking of, holidays can be really stressful. You know, shopping, if you're cooking and hosting, it's just a lot. So there are places like, you know, Bryan's Spa, but there's also a sound healing going on at Everything Just Rocks in Tempe. And if you've never done one of those, I think I've talked about, I really love sound healing. I just think it's such a cool thing. It really does help reduce stress and anxiety. It can help with mood fluctuations. And this one is a pretty good price, honestly. It's only $20.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of times sound baths are pretty expensive, but this one's $20. Everything Just Rocks in Tempe. It's from 6:30 to 8. So if you want to just kind of, again, have a little reset, you know, and center yourself and then go back to the holiday madness. This is a really good opportunity for that. The last one is, do you own an ugly sweater, Marshall? An ugly Christmas sweater. I should specify that.
I will say yes, because I've also made my own, where you just take a sweater and you just hang bowls and string some lights, and so it's really hideous. So I've worn them, I've made them, and yes, I own them.
So over on my side of town, in Chandler at Murphy's Law Irish Pub, they are doing a good old-fashioned ugly sweater party. You don't need to have reservations, but it's kind of it's probably going to be pretty crowded. So you can do a 2-person table for $50 or 4 people for $100. The events kind of kicks off around 7:30, and you know, again, probably if you've got family in town or, you know, folks visiting, this is a fun thing to do.
And you know, it's so crazy because now like ugly sweaters are so in. So now you can go
everywhere.
Out and you can buy a new ugly sweater.
Everywhere. You can buy ugly sweaters everywhere. Because I used to go to like I would go hunting way far in advance,
right,
at like Goodwill and stuff. But now you know, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you can
There's just racks and racks, and so I'm hoping that people wear them from year to year instead of like, okay, I'm done with it this year.
Yeah.
So, because you know, you can always embellish. There's battery-powered lights. You can decorate your own sweater.
Well, I do have multiple ugly Christmas sweaters, but my favorite one is, it's got a giant pug that has the reindeer antlers with jingle bells on it. It's like my tried and true.
And so when you shimmy.
Yeah.
Aw, we should have a little shimmy for the holidays.
We should. Well, on that note, are there things we should be shimmying to celebrate, Marshall?
You know, there's always things to be celebrating here in Arizona. So, you know, when we look at December, it's like you've got 1906, one of my favorite national monuments was established. It became a national park, but the petrified forest.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, I love doing that drive.
I do too.
And so, I mean, it's so much fun to get out and you wind up seeing all these different terrains that you didn't even know were here in Arizona.
Yeah, we did a trip where we stayed at the kind of iconic Wigwam Hotel, and then went to the Petrified Forest. I think it's underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't have interest, but it's
and it was funny because
cool.
it was like I was actually doing like a Route 66 bit, and I was like, you know, let's do that. And it was like, I didn't understand it was a kid.
Yeah.
Wow, it took the entire day. It threw off the other schedule, but it was so much fun. And also, you know, as things are getting ready, so 2026 is the 100th anniversary of Route 66. So there's going to be a lot going on along that
that'll be exciting.
Iconic road.
Okay.
A lot of stuff will be happening.
I'm trying, I might turn 40 in 2026. That would be kind of a big, I'm thinking because on my 30th birthday, that's what I did. I did a Route 66 trip.
Okay.
And it was a blast. I loved it. And so I'm like, maybe I need to do it again. That would line up kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could stay in like La Posada.
Yeah.
I mean, and do kind of like, I mean, I think the beauty of Route 66 is not just like going on the highway, but stopping. I mean, here in Arizona, we have the most usable of Route 66
Yes,
of
we
any other state.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not celebrate that?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this has been a super fun show. We've talked about running, which I don't think Marshall and I are necessarily sold on becoming.
No, but walking.
But walking.
Walking.
We're down to walk.
Right.
We'll walk. We'll walk it out. Float spa, definitely down to do that. I will absolutely do a float spa.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting about that is, I mean, I did it years ago before there was all this multi-stimulus.
You gotta go, yeah.
So yeah,
his space is super cool.
Nice.
So if you loved what you saw, definitely check out the newsletter and our site so you can learn more. But we will be back here tomorrow.
Indeed, we will.
Because we're back. We are back.
We are
baby.
back. We'll have more history, more things to do. We'll have more guests.
Yep.
It's going to be such a fun day. So you'll definitely want to check us out tomorrow. And we will see you then.